Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. It's your Waffle Don in the building. People, the Waffle Dailies are back. And yes, the screen looks a bit mad and everything like that, but I'm sure it looks very colorful and inviting on your screen right now, whether it's your mobile, whether it's your desktop, wherever you're watching me. But shout out to anyone that watches the stream today, and make sure you slap the likes and all of that. 1 minute, 35 seconds. Let's get into it. So if you see the title, The Balanced Fan. What is a balanced fan? Well, if you're a rival and if you're an Arsenal fan, most Arsenal fans look at us as being maybe deluded, the worst fans in the world. But it made me think this morning. I was thinking this morning because I heard Negative Dan from Guna's Therapy. Make sure for the show for that later. I'll be on their stream later, hopefully. 9 p.m. tonight. And it just made me just have to sit there this morning. I mean, I've just come out of the gym, yeah, and I'm going home. I'm like, what is a balanced fan? I've been trying to call myself a balanced fan this season, yeah. But what does it mean to be a balanced fan? Is it because you don't scream Arteta out every 2 minutes? Is it because you don't have a meltdown after it? What is a balanced fan? I'm trying to get to, I want to find out what the answer is. Yeah, because you've got the top gooners, the bottom gooners, and then you've got the balanced fan. Can't I just be a fan of football? You know? There is something inside me, though, that has been a lot calmer this season. So if that's called balanced, then that kind of partially answers the argument of being what a balanced fan is. But there is that inner voice in me, or that inner boy in me, that Van Persie obviously, said before he went to Man United. There is that inner voice in me that sometimes comes out and just says, you know what is this guy doing? Quote unquote, Arteta. What are the players doing? They are absolutely beep, 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 beep. It's in me, but it doesn't come out. So is that part of being balanced? Being patient, is that part of being balanced? Not questioning things, is that part of being balanced? I'm not too sure. Because we lost this weekend, as you all know, and I wasn't happy with that result, especially losing it how we did in the last few seconds. And I was livid. But I weren't exactly gonna go crazy on streams and stuff like that. And I had a panel show straight after the stream, because it's nice to get a reaction from the fans immediately after the game. You wouldn't go to a game and say, oh, okay, I'm gonna wait till next day, to find out what the fans think. You want that cold, whatever reaction, heated reaction as soon as you come out of the ground. So I wanted to have that type of kind of reaction, from the fans. I already done a watch along. It's quite long as well, quite long watch along, because I'd like to do an hour before the actual game now. But some of the things that that were coming out in that reaction, I thought to myself, yeah, I've heard it all before. I get where you're coming from. Now, these are people that, I've grown to like. I've grown to, I do a lot of streams with and stuff like that. But my opinion right there and then, it wasn't like that. My opinions weren't like that. I didn't want to go into this manager out. I wasn't interested in having that conversation. I just wanted to have a conversation about football. Big up to Godfrey in the building. Yeah, big up. I hope you're well, man. I just wanted to have a conversation about football, and that's all I wanted it to be. I didn't want to talk about Arteta out. I did want to talk about his tactic, what he could have improved, and what he got wrong, and and the state of our players. And I didn't want to go into the club and all of that and kind of stuff, but I can't change how people feel. People will feel how they feel in the moment, and that's up to them. It's up to them how they feel, isn't it? But this is where I feel that the balance comes into things, because as much as I say that I wanted this manager out years ago or whenever, or I didn't want him or whatever, I've set myself a timeline that this season, regardless, if he doesn't win anything, then for me, he has to go. End of the season, there's no discussion. He has to go. Now, that's where I feel that I've given myself an even kill, because if I keep like this on this level, games are going to get me like that. Yeah? Games are going to get me like that. But when I start to lose it is when I see that we're losing total control of winning this title, because I feel that the title is the most important trophy to win at this point of time. Yeah, you can win an EFL Cup, but for me, the Premier League is something that we haven't won in such a long time, and I think it's about time that, you know what, especially after the pain after the 3 title races, or you could say last year wasn't one. I think we deserve it. I think we deserve it, but we ain't got time to be feeling sorry for ourselves, and we ain't got time to be like this group that every time we lose a game, everyone else is to blame. I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that. Stick to the players, the manager. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But we don't need to. We know what we want. We know what our expectation is at the end of the season. We know what we want. We know the implication. When I look at a balanced fan now, so I want to talk about some of the big streamers. Yeah. When I look at balanced fans, because you could either be that way left, like a Lee Gunner, and this, you know what, blah blah blah. But even Lee Gunner this season, and I mentioned him, I think he's been much more balanced. People don't see how positive as well Lee Gunner can be as well after a victory as well. You know, he can be, very happy after a victory. But the thing about him is that he will call out stuff as well. And most of it, 99% of it is factual. Some of it's, I don't know, maybe not correct, but you can't tell me that he's never positive. You know what I'm saying? Because he does. He is positive. The same as the likes of Turkish as well. Big boy Turkish, follow him, Curtis Shaw. I watch a lot of their streams, and I would say they're very balanced. And they have a timeline, in terms of like, well, conversations will need to be had down the line if things are not working. And I get that. But I think now, shouting the manager out and stuff like that, it's not for me. You can do it, but it's not for me. And I get people that come onto my channel and, they're frustrated and they don't want the manager, they don't like the manager and stuff like that. I don't particularly love this manager. Yeah, by the way, I don't particularly like this manager. But there has to be a kind of like boundary or limit to how much we, I suppose, cuss this guy out, because cussing this guy out at this stage, at this critical stage of the season, I just don't think it helps me. I don't think it helps you. I don't think it helps the players. I don't think it helps anyone. You know, I know there's enough man that go running when we lose a game. You don't see from them. You don't hear from them. There's nothing in the group chat. It just goes quiet, silent. I'm there, win, lose, or draw, because I don't hide. I don't hide. I'll take my licks from the group chat. It's funny because I didn't even get cooked this much. I'm quite concerned. I didn't even get cooked that much from my Instagram banter club group. And big up to them as well. Yeah, big up to my banter club group, elite group. Big up to Nems in the building. I see ya. I see ya. Nems in the building. Big up to Nems. But yeah, what I'm saying is that sometimes in life, yeah, and you don't have to listen to me, you don't have to take the advice. There needs to be a bit of balance in it. There needs to be a bit of give and take. So, for example, my criticism on Saturday was that Norgard, who I don't really rate, but I still feel that he deserved an opportunity, especially with our midfield that's been run into the ground. Odegaard, who's not really had that many games. Why does he have to start? These were my little pains on Saturday. This was my issues that I had, the questions that I had. Gyökeres should have started. You know, Marino, yes, I get it why he started, but I was just disappointed in the manner, in the way we finished that game. And it seems like our last few away games, we've had issues. Now, this is the stat I don't like to hear. And listen to me very careful, people, yeah? And big up to my boy BBK as well. He's probably going to watch this at some point. This is the stat I don't like to hear, when a certain type of fan says, but we've only lost one game in 18. Well, why don't we talk about the stat where we've dropped 7 points in the last three games? Why don't we hear that? We've drawn our last 3 away games, because that stat for me is more important than we've only dropped one in 18 games. I don't want to drop no points, but that stat that I've just read out is more alarming to me than just losing one game in 18 games. So what? It's not that one loss that's the problem. It's the 3 draws that is the problem. It's the physicality that we can't match, because some of our players have played too much football. That's the issue for me. And this is daily waffle settings, by the way. Yeah, sorry, daily waffle routine, because that's Curtis Shaw's thing. Waffle settings. This is the waffle routine. So this is going to be a daily thing from now on. And I'll be talking not just about my club, I'll be talking about other things as well. Yeah. So Nems, I've got a little section for you coming as well, just in a moment. But this goes out to you Liverpool fans as well. Yeah. When I talk about balanced fan, yeah, I'm already seeing the Liverpool fans, yeah, going at Salah, yeah, because he came out in an interview and he said, you know what, yeah, you know what, me and Slot were cool, but all of a sudden now, yeah, the manager switched on me, in layman terms. Yeah. Some people are saying Salah's out and all that kind of thing, while others are like saying, you know what, yeah, Salah's given so much for the club, yeah, and the disrespect he's getting right now. And some people are just like, you know what I mean, he's been on the sub bench and you know, he's crying and all that kind of stuff. Well, he's a top player, and yes, he's been out of form. He's definitely been out of form. But so have most of the Liverpool team been out of form as well. So balance, once again, is there balance there? Yeah. Are you one of these to the left, get him out, or are you one of these to the right? Let him just honor his contract, man, and see it out, because this has the implications of Salah not coming back. And I know I've just skipped on to the next team subject straight away. I know that, but this is what we do on daily waffle routine. We talk about different things. I'd like to know your opinion, Nems, about the Liverpool situation with Salah. Do you want to get rid of him? Because if you get rid of him, that means definitely Semenyo's definitely going to be lining up. But Semenyo's not Salah. And Semenyo, whether you think he's a better player now or whenever, he's not going to give you the output of Salah that has given you over the last 5 seasons. Yeah, he's a good player, but he's not giving you that output, the goals. But the argument also could be that it's a good thing that you guys are transitioning from Salah, yeah, so you don't have to rely on him. There was a time where Arsenal relied on Henry's goals, you know, and it became so much so that other team players just weren't really, you know what I mean, scoring and stuff like that. There has to be a balance, I think. You know, you've got Haaland. What happens when those goals dry up? Because Foden ain't going to be saving them. And I suppose a lot of us Arsenal fans are banking on that for Haaland. I wouldn't wish an injury on him, but the goals to dry up. Let me just read some of these comments before I carry on waffling. This ain't going to be a long show, people. This is just the first daily waffle show today. Same abs, it's draining for me. I've kept my stance on this manager. If he doesn't win anything, he must go until we get to the end of the season. I'm not bothered. We can have those discussions then. And this is what I'm saying, yeah. And this is what I just feel that's logical. And I know people that hate this manager, yeah, because the fact that he tells lies and he's just not honest and stuff like that. I get that 100%. Yeah, there's nothing worse than a brother lying to you. Yeah, especially at the club that you love. I get all of that. I do get all of that. And there's people that just flat out don't rate the manager. I get that. And as I said, you can do what you want to do. Yeah, this is just about what is being balanced. Yeah. To be honest, what is balanced? What is being balanced? Because you got a seesaw, yeah, left and right, goes up and down. Look at this is my head, yeah, my head's that's in the middle, yeah, but it's still going up and down, isn't it? As I do that, it's still going up and down. So I'm flip-flopping left and I'm flip-flopping right still, yeah. So the balance is crazy because, as I said, I might be on that balance, but I'm still annoyed. Yeah, maybe I'm going that way now. Yeah, but my head's still there. But it's crazy. It's crazy to call yourself a balanced fan, but when the emotions come out, when we don't have a good game, it's difficult to be balanced. It's difficult to have that. Well, okay, you know what? He didn't do well today. Let's just I'm not gonna. The balance for me is just by not saying 2 words. I'll take her out. That's the balance for me. Let's be real, yeah. Let's be real. That's because you will criticize players. You would say players had a shit game. You know, you would say something like the tactics and all that, but you just won't say those words. When you start to say those 2 words, when you start to do the abusive things, that's what tips the balance, and then that tips you downwards. Yeah, and then there's the other side where you go up as the positive, and it's like, oh well, we've only lost 1 game in 18. We're gonna bounce back. We will bounce back. That's the positive side as well. So maybe my balance for me is that I don't say the 2 words. I don't curse him out. And I don't go by some lazy stat that we've only lost 1 game in 18. I go by the stat where the concerning stat. And that's literally how I'm breaking it down right now. Godfrey says he got the lineup wrong on Saturday 100%. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I was a bit annoyed, and I will say this to now because I was on a catch up yesterday. Big up to SB and Catch and all the panel. I was annoyed that Odegaard started. Yes, Eze hasn't been great over the last few games, but Eze gives you something, yeah, different. Yeah, he gives you something different. I don't even know what it is, but you feel like something can happen with him in these big games. You know, whether it's an assist, whether it's a shot. He even scored an offside goal on Saturday. Yeah, if he'd have kept on side, no one would have been talking about his performance if he had scored that goal. I didn't like seeing him on the left, but also I didn't like seeing the blame he got for being an attacking midfielder and just, yeah, that was his man at the back post. I get it, but yeah, see, even that, even talking about that just winds me up, because two things could be true at the same time. You know, it was his fault, but also I don't think that maybe he should have been marking someone else in it. I don't know. You good? Yeah. Semenyo can play both sides, bro. You can play left and right. I will keep Salah. Salah and Rio can only play on the right wing. Yeah, I hear it. I'm a middle gooner. What's a middle gooner, bro? Let us know what a middle gooner is, because I don't know what that means. Is that balanced? There must also be balance on the players. I feel like Nketiah got a lot of hate when he's been solid against Villa. He was 7 out of 10 for me, even though his error led to the dagger when he should have. You see the goal that they scored yesterday. I still can't see where the error was, because that ball was just pinging everywhere. It was going everywhere. I don't know where was the error. Who was the error? Hoofed the ball. Now all of a sudden, this hot garbage. Yeah. The thing is, yeah, I think we've got big, massive Champions League game. I say it's a massive Champions League game, yeah, because I think it's an opportunity. I think it's an opportunity for those that haven't really played much football in the team to show what they can do. So it's almost like a Premier League game, but abroad, if you want to speak, you know, against a very good team. That's how I see it. If I was Arteta, I wouldn't even play. I wouldn't risk playing some of the big players. I don't care if we win this game. I don't care if we lose it. Yeah, I don't really care about this game. This game doesn't matter. Give Norgard a run out. Give Kepa a run out. You know, give players that you've not, you know, that's been on the bench that you've not given any time to let them have a run out. You know, because we're going to need those players. You can't just rely on, you know, week to week that, oh, Saliba's back now. Oh, this player's come back now. You have to play players, yeah. You have to give them something, because if you just play them from the cold, yeah, you're going to get these stupid performances. And this is why I'm not feeling that. Give them a run out, you know. Norgard, clearly you don't rate the brother, yeah. Clearly you don't rate him, yeah. There was something that I read on one of these websites. Let me just bring it up here. And it's opinion based. So it's not something I've written. It's not something I've written, but it's definitely opinion based. But let's just see if I can bring this up quickly. And big up to Nems again, once in the build. Make sure you go and follow Nem. Nems has got his own channel as well, yeah. Make sure you go and give him some support as well if you've not followed him already. I see Nems doing a lot of content. Let me see if I could share this quickly. So these daily shows, yeah, depending on the context of the day and stuff like that, they'll either be half an hour, 20 minutes, 10 minutes. They're not going to be really long. So I'm not expecting it to be crazy. Nem says Gakpo and Chiesa can't play on the right wing. It doesn't mean Semenyo will leave in January. Oh, that's interesting, you know. Sorry, my machine's running a bit slow, so I can't click on the comments as quick. What did you think of that draw yesterday, Nems, or Saturday, or whenever? Yeah, was it? When did you play on Saturday? What did you think of that draw, bro? Yeah, definitely need to get minutes. What did you think of that draw for your club? I didn't watch it, But I see that young brother run it. Big up to him as well. Yeah, F1, big up. Do you know what? I stopped watching F1 since Hamilton got robbed, man. Stopped watching it since then. I'm not really interested in that no more. But people, make sure you slap up the likes and all of that. Yeah, make sure you show some love to the channel like you always do. But this, yeah, we need to see Ethan start and Dalman get minutes off the bench. I totally agree with you. Definitely, they need to listen. We need to like get them strong, man. You know, get them strong, get them playing. And that's about it, really. Let me see. Is there anything? Is there any Twitter rubbish? Actually, I was going to share that site in it. If I could be bothered. Hold on a second. It's literally talking about an all guard, you know. Someone's just really been critical, you know. And Arsenal always, it felt like a loss. Gutted. Arsenal always do, but get this really wasteful signing. That what was the point? What was the point? So there hasn't been much for Arsenal to complain about this season, but some weren't too happy to see Norgard remain for the entirety of the loss to Villa. I wonder what type of fan would that have been? A balanced, a top gooner, you know, a middle gooner, a left gooner, a right gooner. What type of gooner wouldn't have been happy? It was clear his role was to be a rotational option, but Arteta doesn't seem to trust the experienced Danish midfielder. One fan suggested that Norgard's profile would have benefited the North Londoners late on. I thought that as well. Norgard has been the most pointless signing ever. Maybe a 6-foot DM might be handy in these situations. Another supporter was bemused, telling me Norgard can't come on when the midfield is absolutely on his arse in a game like this. One is trying to work out why the Dane was signed. Don't really understand Norgard's signing. I really like him as a player, and those last 15 minutes needed some experience in settling things down. But if you're not going to use a player during the business end of the season, why sign him? Another pointed out risking injuries to Rice or Zubimendi. If Norgard can't even get 10 minutes in 3 games in the space of 10 days, then why is he here? He doesn't trust him, and he will bring him on only when Rice and Zubi get injured. And how is he handling them? They will soon get one. Our midfield has a legit nothing left at the end of the games for a month straight, and Norgard is not even an option. Arteta will want a response from his side when they travel to Belgium, blah, 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 blah. And that's another thing for me. That's another problem for me as well, yeah? Because we've lost this game now, is he just going to just go out like, oh, on a prideful thing and, oh, you man, what's happened here? Oh, you man are really, you know, I'm going to play like my best team now. What's going on here? Let me see if I can go back to here. I'm going to put out my best team now, you know? And then that means Rice would have no rest once again. Maybe he will rest him again. It's all guesswork at the moment, isn't it? I don't know. You don't know. It's all guesswork. It's all guesswork. So I don't really know. But people, it's coming to like 30 minutes. 30 minutes too long. Make sure you slap the likes, people. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I didn't even go into subscribe mode. So naughty me. But yeah, people, catch me tomorrow, God willing, with another waffle extravaganza. And yeah, people, as always, take care of yourself. Peace.